Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 8th, 2026 meeting of the Haverford Township Board of Commissioners. We'll begin the meeting with a roll call. I'll ask our Township Manager, David Berman, to now please take the roll.
Commissioner Gondik.
Present.
Commissioner Forsty Grupp.
Here.
Commissioner Cavender is absent this evening. Commissioner Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Quinn.
Here.
Commissioner Hart.
Here.
Commissioner McCullum.
Here.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Here.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Here, thank you. I now ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our Deputy Chief of Police, TJ Long.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless America.
Thank you. We'll now move on to the presentation of our proclamations. We'll begin with a proclamation recognizing Mr. Leon Smith as National Teacher of the Year. This will be presented by Commissioner Larry Holmes. Commissioner Holmes, the floor is yours.
The lights on? Oh, there we go. Okay. Thank you for the privilege once again to herald the accomplishment of Leon Smith and for us to proudly proclaim his latest accomplishment. 14 months ago, I was privileged to stand before all of you and proclaim the accomplishments of Leon Smith, the Haverford School District high school teacher who'd been chosen as Teacher of the Year for the year 2025. In our proclamation and in my words, we heralded Mr. Smith as a teacher for his selfless dedication to the art of teaching and for inspiring so many students and families. And I talked about the effect that various teachers had had on me, shaping my life, and imagined one of his future students one day addressing a body like this and bragging about being taught by Mr. Smith. The Council of Chief State School Officers evaluates teachers like Mr. Smith, meaning teachers who've been singled out in their individual states and territories. And it looks among that group for their National Teacher of the Year with a very specific goal in mind. Find the teacher who will commit a year to inspire students, not only to be the best students they can be, but to choose to become teachers as well. So many of us have been invited to career days over the years, speak about what we do, and a lot of us remember sitting through career days when we were in high school and meeting doctors, lawyers, public servants, first responders, members of the armed forces, oil barons, engineers, and similar professions, but almost never teachers. And I asked my favorite teacher in high school, Mr. Whalen, why he didn't speak that day. And he said, I have 179 other days of the school year to teach you what I do. Why would an extra half hour make a difference? And it was a fair question, but the fact is that extra half hour just might have given me the courage to do what frankly I think I was born to do, rather than just fall back on shaking hands, kissing babies, and lawyering on the side. Well, Mr. Smith is embarking on 365 days of career days for teachers, and I can't think of a better person for the job. This year will yield great results, and future Mr. Smiths will be inspired not just to learn, but to teach. What a gift. I have a quick story. My mom was born in November of 1933. Her older sister, Rosemary, would not return to grade school unless her parents, my grandparents, sent Alice, my mother, back to school with her the following year. My mother had a late birthday, so she would have already been young for her grade, but she went a year earlier than that. So if you fast forward to 1954, my mom takes her first job teaching at North Scranton Junior High after graduating from Rosemont in May of 1954. She would not turn 21 until several months into the job. My mom passed away in 2012, today, as a matter of fact, and we held a wake for her on Monday night. And at her wake, a man walked up to me as I was standing beside her casket, and he introduced himself to me. He said he'd been a teacher in the Scranton school system his entire adult life and had, not many years earlier, been heralded and honored as the Lackawanna County Teacher of the Year. He had recently retired, and I assumed that he had taught with my mom, so I asked him how he knew her and where they met. He replied, "Your mother taught me at North Scranton Junior High in 1954 and 1955. I read her obituary and wanted to come here tonight to meet her family and to tell you all that I became a teacher because of your mother." Mr. Smith, you have already inspired so many students, but now you have the chance to inspire future teachers and increase exponentially your positive impact on students. I know you will use that gift generously and wisely as you help inspire a future generation of Mr. Smiths. So if I may, whereas outstanding educators are the foundation of a strong community by empowering, mentoring, and inspiring students to reach their full potential. And whereas Leon Smith, a Haverford High School educator, has served the Haverford Township School District for 23 years, teaching 9th grade honors and advanced placement social studies, as well as 10th to 12th grade African American studies. And beyond the classroom, Leon Smith serves as the African American Cultural Enrichment Advisor, as the freshman boys basketball coach, and as a mentor, working tirelessly to support student development, both academically and personally. And whereas Leon Smith supported new and future educators by launching the Grow Your Own Teacher program at Haverford Township School District and serving as a senior fellow for Teach Plus, advocating for policies that promote educational equity, opportunity, and student success. And whereas Leon Smith was named the 2025 Pennsylvania Teacher of the Year by the Pennsylvania Department of Education, recognizing his commitment to his students, his colleagues, and the educational community. And whereas, as Pennsylvania's Teacher of the Year, Leon Smith traveled across the state to collaborate with fellow educators and share his expertise to enhance student success, and to proudly represent the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in the National Teacher of the Year competition. And whereas, for more than 70 years, the Council of Chief State School Officers has honored exceptional educators from every state and jurisdiction throughout the National Teacher of the Year program, a singular role for an educator who has demonstrated excellence in the classroom and an exceptional commitment to their students and profession. And whereas among the 56 Teachers of the Year from states, territories, and the Department of Defense for 2025, the Council of Chief State School Officers chose our own Leon Smith as their 2026 National Teacher of the Year, bestowing upon him both a year of honor and a year of service. And whereas excused from his teaching duties for the year, Leon Smith will work full-time to shed light on the vital role of teachers in the United States of America, speaking at over 150 events, crisscrossing our country to share his leadership and expertise, and inspiring others to become teachers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Haverford Township Board of Commissioners in Delaware County, Pennsylvania, proudly recognizes and commends Leon Smith on being named the 2026 National Teacher of the Year, and expresses our deepest gratitude for his outstanding achievements and dedication to the students and families of Haverford Township. Proclaimed this 8th day of June 2026 by the Haverford Township Board of Commissioners.
So just briefly, good evening, everyone. Just want to say thank you for this tremendous honor. Thank you for the Board of Commissioners, and thank you, Mr. Holmes, for that very touching story. And it's just something that, as I walk into spaces, is something that I don't take lightly. As I travel the country, a lot of people tell me stories about their grandmothers, their grandfathers, people in their family that were educators. And so I really realized the importance of that it's not really about me. It's about how can I really represent the other educators when I walk into spaces and help people to understand the importance of education and the important role that educators play in the lives of students. And so I'm just so grateful. I started here when I was 21 years old in 2001. Right out of college, I graduated from the University of Maryland, and I've actually spent more than half of my life in this community, and it's really been a part of who I am. It's beautiful that I have students and parents and cousins and so many people that I've taught over the years that come back and tell me how they're doing. And I just really feel so much a part of the community. And I'm so honored to really be able to go out and for everyone to know that I'm coming from this community and that there's excellent educators in this community and there's excellent education and people in this community. And I don't take that lightly, and I hope that people will know that, as I travel the country. So just want to say thank you very much for this tremendous honor.
Thank you. Let's give him one more round of applause. Congratulations. We now will enjoy a presentation of our proclamation recognizing the month of June as Pride Month in the Township of Haverford. That will be read by Commissioner Forstey-Grupp. Commissioner Forstey-Grupp, the floor is yours.
Thank you. A proclamation of the Township of Haverford, County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, recognizing June of 2026 as Pride Month. Whereas the Haverford Township Board of Commissioners recognizes June as Pride Month and expresses its support for all LGBTQ+ residents of Haverford Township, affirming that every person deserves to live free from discrimination, harassment, and fear, including fear of being denied their rights, employment, housing, or access to services because of who they are. And whereas Pride Month honors the history, resilience, and contributions of the LGBTQ+ community and commemorates the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which occurred in response to harassment and discrimination faced by LGBTQ+ individuals. Our region also played an early role in the LGBTQ+ rights movement, as from 1965 to 1969, activists gathered outside Independence Hall for the annual reminder demonstrations among the nation's earliest recurring LGBTQ+ civil rights protests. And whereas LGBTQ+ rights continue to be advanced at the state level. At the state level, where Pennsylvania agencies, including the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission and the Office of Attorney General, have affirmed protections against discrimination and continue to enforce civil rights laws, inclusive of LGBTQ+ residents. In 2023, the Pennsylvania House of Representatives passed a package of 4 bills addressing gaps in the Commonwealth's hate crime laws, aimed at expanding protections for LGBTQ+ individuals, strengthening civil and criminal penalties, increasing training for law enforcement and educators, and including reporting of hate-based incidents. And whereas, at the county level, Delaware County continues to advance inclusion through public pride celebrations and policy initiatives. In 2023, media hosted the county's first Delco Pride Parade. Delaware County became the first Philadelphia suburb to adopt a safe haven ordinance. And in 2025, Delaware County further affirmed protections and healthcare access for transgender and non-binary residents. And whereas, in 2011, the Haverford Township Board of Commissioners established the Haverford Township Human Relations Commission to serve as an important community resource and support the township's commitment to non-discrimination, including protections based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression. And whereas the Township of Haverford and its Board of Commissioners stand firmly in support of these principles and the broader commitment to dignity, safety, and equal treatment for all residents. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Haverford Township Board of Commissioners hereby continues to recognize June 2026 as Pride Month in Haverford Township, reaffirms its commitment to dignity, inclusion, and equal treatment for all residents, and encourages the community to continue fostering understanding, compassion, and respect for one another. And be it further resolved that during this month of June and hereafter, the township proudly flies a pride flag as a visible affirmation that Haverford Township strives to be a welcoming community for all. Proclaimed this 8th day of June, 2026, Township of Haverford.
Thank you, Commissioner Forresty Grubb. Finally, we'll enjoy a reading of a proclamation recognizing the significance of June 19th as Juneteenth in the Township of Haverford. This will be read by Commissioner Connor Quinn.
Yes, the first year I read this, it was 3 pages long. So I don't know if my stuttering got this to be down to one page, but I'm going to read this proudly now. And it kept all of the info that was in there on the first one too. So it's all good. So whereas on January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation declaring all enslaved people in the Confederate States to be or forever free. Nevertheless, slavery persisted for another two and a half years in some states, and whereas celebrated annually on June 19th, Juneteenth commemorates the day of June 19th, 1865, when Union Army Major General Gordon Granger read the General Order Number 3 announcing to the people of Galveston, Texas, that all enslaved African Americans were free. And whereas Juneteenth, also known as Emancipation Day or National Freedom Day, is celebrated as the day that slavery ended in the United States, and whereas Juneteenth was first recognized in a state holiday in Texas in 1980. In 2019, Governor Tom Wolf joined Texas and several other states in recognizing the holiday by signing legislation designating June 19th as Juneteenth National Freedom Day in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And whereas in 2021, Juneteenth was declared as a federal holiday when President Joe Biden signed the National Independence Day Act into law with bipartisan support. And whereas since the Township of Haverford has recognized and observed Juneteenth National Freedom Day annually, and whereas the residents in the Township of Haverford are encouraged to join the nation in honoring Juneteenth by acknowledging the contributions made by African Americans to our country and celebrating the resilience of African American people in overcoming their history of enslavement and their continued fight against systemic racism. Now, therefore, be proclaimed that the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Haverford in Delaware County hereby recognizes June 19th as Juneteenth National Freedom Day. Celebrates the culture and achievements of African Americans in spite of history of struggle and oppression, and recommits to the work of fighting systemic racism to ensure progress in our community and prosperity for all. Proclaim this 8th day of June.
Thank you, Commissioner Quinn. Thank you all for those wonderful presentations. We'll now move on to our next agenda item. This is our Citizens Forum. This is the portion of the meeting during which we invite registered speakers to share their remarks. Afterward, we'll open the floor to members of the audience who wish to speak about items on tonight's agenda. Please note that if you wish to speak on an item that's not on tonight's agenda, there'll be a second Citizens Forum later in the meeting for those remarks. Each speaker will have approximately 3 minutes to offer their remarks. And with that, I'll start with our current list of registered speakers, beginning with Ms. Marianne Olson from the Haverford Township Free Library. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marianne Olson from the Haverford Township Free Library, here to talk about summer reading. Once again, Haverford Township Free Library will be hosting summer reading programs for all ages. Summer reading's main goal is to promote a year-round love of reading and also to help combat a summer slump for kids and teens during the summer months. Our summer reading programming for kids and teens officially launches on June 22nd with a kickoff event on June 17th in our community room, Eyes of the Wild, an animal program for kids and teens ages 5 and up. Upstairs, children and teens are encouraged to log their hours spent reading or being read to for special incentives throughout the year, including free ice cream scoops from Kaufmeyer's, free books provided by the Friends of Haverford Township Free Library, and a weekly raffle. As in past years, we'll hold a fun summer reading event every Wednesday evening at 6:30 p.m., either in the community room or upstairs in the children's room. Special programs this year include cartooning, a magic show, and the return of our popular summer science program. We've got a weekly craft program in the Makerspace, as well as a special weekly Makerspace coding and geology program for kids ages 9 through 14. We will also be hosting our popular Storytime Under the Trees program in parks around Haverford Township on Monday and Thursday mornings through September. Finally, we don't want to leave adult readers out, so we have special programs and opportunities for adults to log their hours and be eligible to win raffle prizes as well that you can learn more about at our adult reference desk. All the details are available at the library itself or on our website. Finally, I just want to flag a few special programs coming up this June. Our Senior Citizen Open House, which we are co-organizing with the Township Senior Advisory Council, will be on June 15th, starting at 6 p.m. We've got a Summer Solstice Drumming Circle at the Haverford Reserve Meadow on June 22nd at 8 p.m., which is co-sponsored at the Kelly Center. And also HHRC will be hosting a special Pride movie event this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. They'll be screening Will and Harper with a discussion afterwards. Details for all of these programs are available on our website, or you can call and visit the library for more details. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move on to our next registered speaker. That's Thomas Booker from Ward 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I have it listed differently, but Thomas, if you're here. Thank you.
It's the right platform. Sherry, thank you for getting me here. My concern is parking on Washington Avenue. The Bailey Park, the parking is, you can't get out of the street, you can't get in the street. I'm concerned with it. I mean, there's something that is about to happen. I mean, I'm grateful that the park is there for the kids to play ball. I've been ambulatory once, trying to get out of the street. My concern is getting out. My wife is ill. It's the same concern. I would like to recommend the tennis court. I've been here 40 years on Washington Avenue. The tennis court there was supposed to be a tennis court. Has never been used since I've been there. Can that be eliminated and maybe have all-street parking like Rose Tree does on the nights that basketball is being played? They have curb ramps that you can get up over the curb so nobody's going to hurt their car, but they can do off-street parking. But it is, I invite you all to go down the street tonight on your way home or whatever, you can't get down and you can't get up. And it's week after week. I have a big concern with it. I really do. I don't know if this is the right platform to speak, but asking for help, that's all.
Thank you. We welcome your comments, and after everyone speaks, we'll open the floor to my colleagues here and see if anybody wishes to respond.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Melissa Raffel is next. Ms. Raffel.
Hi there. My name's Melissa Raffel. I live on the 200 block of Kenmore Road. I was fortunate to serve on the Brookline Park Project Steering Committee while I was president of the Penfield Civic Association, and I now serve on the Parks and Recreation Board. Having been involved in different stages of the Brookline Park project, I've had the opportunity to see the tremendous amount of thought, planning, and community input that's gone into creating Brookline Park. First, I want to say how excited I am about the park. The Parks and Rec Board recently visited Brookline Park during our annual Parks tour. Seeing the progress firsthand was incredible. Brookline Park is going to be a tremendous asset for the township. It's going to be a destination that residents from across the township will want to visit and enjoy. And as we saw from the turnout at last week's ribbon cutting, many people are as excited as I am. And that's exactly why the parking is so important. The parking is not what's going to bring people to Brookline Park. The park itself will. Families, children, seniors, residents from all parts of the township are going to come because it's a beautiful new community amenity. Most of these, or many of these visitors, might visit by car, whether we provide parking or not. The real question is not whether people will drive to the park. The question is whether we plan responsibly for that reality. The current plan removes the interior parking lot in order to preserve as much green space as possible, and it replaces it with perimeter parking. That approach allows the park to remain parkland while still accommodating visitors. It also creates a net gain of approximately 18 parking spaces compared with what is currently available. Without designated parking, these same visitors are going to come, but they'll be forced to search for parking on surrounding neighborhood streets. And that means more circling, more congestion, and more competition for existing street parking. To me, the proposed parking plan is a practical and balanced solution. It supports accessibility, it preserves green space, and it acknowledges how people will actually use the park. I appreciate all of the work that has gone into this project, and I hope the township continues moving forward with the parking plan as designed so that Brookline Park can successfully serve the entire community for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, I'd now like to invite Phyllis Killian, Ward 3, to come speak. Thank you.
Good evening, and thank you for allowing me an opportunity to speak this evening for the commissioners and the attendees. I've been a resident of Haverford for over 20 years. I live right on Darby Road. Got to tell you, it's great because the town is a walking town, and I love the fact that I can walk to the Y, walk to Wawa in multiple directions, and I have a good opportunity to see everything that's going around. And the township sponsors a lot of really good events in the area. The reason I asked to speak tonight is because I live in a C3 zoned area in Havertown. I've read the use documents for C3, and it's consistent with what I see around the area. No concerns about that. However, there's a construction company that rents space on Darby Road with their garages on Hastings. And they are now maintaining a dumpster or container company out of that location. So they store 3 to 4 dumpsters on site, along with the roll-off truck. They perform maintenance Monday through Saturday, Monday through Sunday. They were doing maintenance on Sunday, and the dumpsters as well. And they leave from this location to drop off containers to whoever's leasing them. For the last several months, they've started holding dumpsters that are full of debris in this location. Yesterday, there were 3 with debris, and only one of them was covered. When they bring their dumpsters down the road, down Hastings, fluid is pouring out of the back of them at times. Clean, dirty, don't know, don't want to know. The owner of the dumpster company parks in no parking zones. He parked so tight up against my car, which was legally parked, I had to cancel my car's maintenance today. Yesterday, he parked one of his trucks with a trailer in the middle of Hastings while he was doing work, moving vehicles around. His crews have driven on my lawn, damaged it. used my driveway for backing in and out of their trucks, blocked my driveway. They blocked sidewalks, causing people to have to walk in the street instead of walking on sidewalks. Additionally, he started parking his trucks in a little small alleyway between two buildings, which now prevents access to the nearby apartments. If you have a fire, you're going to have a fire issue. My understanding from reading the zoning code is that this type of business needs to be housed in an area zone for light industry or heavy commercial district. The only time it could remain in a C3 is if it was office space or light storage. I also read that sometimes environmental performance standards may be required from the township engineer. So here's my question. Is a dumpster or container company that is actively performing maintenance, storing both empty and full dumpsters, and repairing containers and roll-offs and dispatching in this location something that should be in a C3?
Thank you so much. Mr. Todd Hall from Ward 2.
Good evening, Todd Hall, Ward 2 of Haverford Township. I speak tonight to echo a trend that has emerged in other governmental contexts, whereby June is being declared as the month of the nuclear family. My points made here are not meant to take away from or dispute any other proclamations here this month. We live in a diverse country with freedoms for which I am thankful for. And I speak this with acceptance and understanding that some people are in a situation where separation or divorce or other situations are the only and safest options. But as the world entertains new ideas and concepts that break from established tradition, the need for one to express their support for ways of living that have benefited them, what has been traditional and accepted for many years, and what I believe is good for society increases. As an example, the New York State Legislature, both houses, recently passed legislation to remove the words mother and father from being defined in state law, replaced with gestating parent and non-gestating parent. Borrowing from the words used by the governor of Indiana in a proclamation, the nuclear family, one husband, one wife, and any biological, adopted, or fostered children is God's design for the family structure and the foundation of society since the creation of the world. Research shows children with married biological parents have better physical and emotional well-being. When families weaken, society pays the price through welfare dependencies, school struggles, and social decline. Strong families build strong adults and stronger communities. We celebrate the commitment mothers and fathers have made to each other and their children. As we celebrate the 250th anniversary of the United States, we recognize that growing and strengthening families is critical to the next 250 years. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. Mr. Williams, Dr. Williams, would you like to speak? I know that you had submitted.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My wife and I, we wanted to thank the board for...
I'm sorry, could you introduce
Oh, yes,
yourself?
hi.
Sorry
Yes,
about
John
that.
Williams, 5th Ward, 730 Panmure Road.
Thank you.
My wife and I wanted to thank the board for the really positive developments that have occurred in our corner of the 5th Ward in the past several years. First, your board and our commissioner has allowed parking on the 500 block of Panmure Road, which has taken the Haverford School parking that used to occur all over the area and kind of put it in that location, which I think has been a great improvement. And the other thing which I think has been quite positive about that is that it has effectively narrowed that road. And although I think some people have sort of incorrectly kind of concluded that traffic has gone faster on that narrow road, I think that is exactly the opposite of what is true, because I think narrowing a road actually slows down traffic, and I think that's supported by general traffic calming science. And so I think that's a very positive development. And the situation for the students there could be improved even more with a few speed humps on that block. The other thing I really want to express my extreme gratitude to this board is for the Buck Lane walking lane. I mean, it's really, I just cannot tell you how transformational that has been. I'm a runner. I think I'm probably becoming more of a jogger at this point, sadly, But there were I've been there for 15 years. There were so many times when you would see those cars going by each other, and literally, you'd have to jump aside. People would. It was insane, and it was really very scary. I mean, I was never hit, but there were many times when it came close. And since the lane has been there, it's just been incredible. I mean, the walking that I drive home there every night, and going on the correct direction, and there are so many people walking there. It's phenomenal, and you guys did an incredible job last year with the comprehensive plan. I mean, it's really. It's a testament to the hard work that you put in and the response to the community and everything. And I'm just, I think it's amazing. And goal 1 is improve accessibility by providing more opportunities to utilize public transit, bicycling, and walking as a primary mode of transportation. So that is phenomenal, and that's the 800 block of Buck with the walking lane. That's exactly what it does. It's totally consistent with the plan. Just real quickly, nothing is assured except death and taxes, but I would love to do whatever, I would hope, it's been announced that, this is going to be a permanent thing, but I'd really like to I'd hope that that could be permanent as soon as possible. I don't know if there's an ordinance that needs to be passed or whatever, but I'm hoping that will happen soon. And that, that's going to be totally in agreement with the plan. And, I guess, not everyone always agrees on things. And I would just say, I would hope that no single landowner would ever be able to reverse that plan, because I just think it's so helpful. And I know, converting it, making it permanently permanent is going to require as much as $40,000 to $75,000, according to the Brentford traffic study. And my wife and I would like to personally support that. We didn't want to say anything before it was made permanent because we didn't want to appear inappropriate. But now that it's going to be permanent, we would like to make a cash contribution to that. My practice, I'm a psychiatrist, my practice is about increasing mental health. And one of the best ways that you can increase mental health is by getting people to exercise, to walk places. It's much better than drugs, and it's free. And so I, as someone who works all the time, I would like to support this township with a donation to that. We would like to support that. For the permanent, the yellow bollards are okay, but, something a little bit, kind of more permanent. We want to support that. You guys have done such an amazing job in this township in the last 15 years, and we thank you for that.
Thank you, Dr. Williams. Thank you. So we've now exhausted our list of registered speakers. I invite members of the public who wish to speak on agenda items this evening to raise their hands, and I will get to you, and I'll allow anybody to speak. So I'm going to start on the left-hand side, front row. Yes, sir. I'll move my way back. Yes, sir, please. Just so long as it's on an agenda item.
Parking at Woodmere Way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brian Littlewood, 1607 Woodmere Way.
Thank you.
A lot of this was brought up last month and future years, but I have pictures of what this looked like on May 4th, and there was all kinds of incidences, but really I just want to state Winton and all the surrounding streets are already 8 to 4 parking. I don't know how our street got missed in this whole thing, but what it ultimately comes down to, in my opinion, we can name all the reasons why this is a problem, but the number one problem is a safety hazard. God forbid somebody's house was on fire and we couldn't get a fire truck down there or an ambulance or whatever we needed. I mean, to me, that's the number one reason and the highest reason we should be concerned about this issue. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Anybody else in the front row? Second row? Third row. Yes, sir. I saw you raise your hand first.
Hi, my name's Pat McClune, 512 Sagamore Road. I'm speaking in relation to the agenda item about the parking at Brookline Park. I first wanted to say that I was involved, as Melissa was, as a member of the board for the park. And there was an event last week for the ribbon cutting, and I'm sure I know that Jerry was there, Connor was there. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, Commissioner, but I know you were omnipresent there, and that was appreciated. It really was a great event. And I wanted to say that everything that has been done and in place at the park is top-notch, and everybody's very, very happy with it. However, my position, the reason I was called on this was to represent the neighbors' needs. And I'm right across from the park in the 500 block of Sagamore Road. Jerry was kind, maybe foolish enough to ask me to do this, but in those proceedings, a lot of times there would be, everybody kind of just lauding the consultants and all that, and I would kind of raise a concern about the neighborhood and be, is that okay with you, Pat? That type of thing. And I really don't want to come off as that because in the large part, everything is fine. But I just want to say that it's just not me speaking out and following me, a neighbor will represent this properly. There's a feeling of, one, that the parking seems to be like a bazooka for a thing that doesn't quite need a bazooka to get done. But more importantly, there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's an email that was floating around today with terms like 50 spaces and $3.5 million, and I don't think either one of those is anywhere close to the truth. Sent by a very well-meaning person who's very upset about it. But what I am trying to say is that there's a lot of constituents who are right there and are going to be most affected by this park that have a lot of questions and don't feel like they've been heard about the parking. And yes, there was meetings and they were done properly, but some of those meetings have probably been 2-3 years ago. There are new people living there, and although people were given the chance to speak, I really feel that the people that come to me and that I've been asked to represent aren't being heard. And so I would respectfully ask that there be some kind of meeting or discussion particular to those neighbors to alleviate some of those concerns. And I just worried when I saw this, because it came on me so quickly, that so that the awarding tonight is not a fait accompli, that there'd be more discussion about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
By the way, that alarm goes off. Is that the 3-minute bell?
That's the 3-minute mark.
Surprised. Sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
I try to be flexible about it, but I do ask folks to start wrapping up their remarks around that. With that said, I think the person next to you was also speaking. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kristen Wise. I live at 516 Sagamore, so on the block of the Brookline Park. I'm here tonight to voice my opinion and the opinion of many others in our neighborhood, which is the 8th Ward District. I'm here tonight to discuss and present the concerns many of us have regarding the Brookline parking development and request the board hold off voting on the approval of the contract for additional parking on Sagamore until the concerns of the residents can be heard and addressed. Specifically, we have been trying to communicate with the township and our commissioners over the past few months to address the situation. In some instances, it took a month to get a response. In another instance, our emails have not been responded to. By way of a recent example is that I did not receive a response to my email to Mr. Berman on May 31st. On the other hand, I want to say that we are very, very excited about this park, and it warms my heart that it is being used. Every day people are there using it. My kids grew up over there in that field and everything. So we're very happy that it's being used, and we appreciate everything that's being done for it. On the other hand, the parking situation needs to be meaningfully re-examined. Our concerns about the parking include, first of all, safety issues. 24 head-in parking spots on a one-block range that children are running around. Relatedly, there will be issues among traffic in and out of that two-way traffic 1 Sagamore Road. Secondly, we question the need to take away the green space from the park for this intended parking spots. This include only the occasional event, which is what we were told, like Pee Wee soccer tournaments. Do we really need this many parking spots for this? And third, it is unclear why the original plan, I think originally they were talking about 40 spots over 2 streets, the 500 block of Kenmore and the 500 block of Sagamore. And apparently that has been changed. We were just wondering when that was changed and what the reasoning was what was for that. It seems to me logically, if you were going to increase parking, that on a one-way street, angled parking would be much safer traffic pattern than on a two-way street and head-in parking. Finally, I note the 2nd, 7th, and 8th Ward commissioners have scheduled a constituents meeting next Wednesday. To me, this would be an excellent opportunity to voice concerns in real time and in meaningful conversations of topic. So I would ask that you would table the vote, that you have one tonight for a few weeks till you have these meetings and we can have our voices heard. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move on to the next speaker. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Paul Boyer. I'm on the 1600 block of Woodmere. We're talking about parking, which seems to be the big subject of the day. But I think another way of solving the problem, instead of having parking on one side, might be have a permit. If you live on Woodmere Way, you buy a permit if you want to park during the day there. I park on the street because my son is a volunteer fireman at Brookline, and he wants to be able to get out, out of the driveway easily. But I think if you pay $10 or whatever a year, that way, if I come home on a Saturday, I know I'm not moving for a few days, then I'm parking on the other side of the street, and I don't want the neighbors to get I don't want to wake up at 7 to move my car, then move it again at 3. It just seems ridiculous. But I think a compromise might be a $10 permit or whatever, 15, whatever it costs. That way, and it only can go to people that live on Woodmere Way, because I just think that's an easier way of solving the problem where maybe everyone theoretically might be happy. That's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments in that row from public speakers? No? Next row? Welcome.
Thank you again, Commissioners. Jay Graytalk, 1600 block of Woodmere Way. Appreciate the opportunity to address you regarding adding parking restrictions to Woodmere Way. It's my 3rd time talking about this subject, hopefully the last. At the last meeting, we heard and appreciate the concerns of our neighbors on Woodmere Way and sought to find a solution that would address the problems they shared regarding parking at the bottom of the street. We also want to address our concerns regarding the speeding through the stop sign at the top of the street and continuing at a high rate of speed toward Mill Road. Both legitimate concerns in need of some attention and possible relief. In the past month, we've observed that the temporary no parking signs at the bottom of Woodmere Way were positively addressed the issue of not being able to turn on to or off of Woodmere. A permanent sign at that location would indeed continue that positive effect. We also noted, at least on one occasion, a police officer was stationed at the top of the street at the corner of Woodmere Way and Edge Hill Drive, which helped to slow high school students in the morning and regular traffic throughout the time that he was parked there. However, we know this is not a sustainable solution and worry that eliminating parking at the top of the street would only continue to encourage speeding toward Mill Road, as fewer parked cars means easier and faster pathways down the street, as Dr. Williams, who lives over on Panmure Road, indicated in his speech earlier. We recognize the concerns of our neighbors regarding tight parking during school hours. One resident even used an orange cone placed next to the driveway that helped keep the parked cars at a reasonable distance from that driveway. However, we do not believe that restricting parking will alleviate the problems at the bottom of the street and may actually make parking worse for the entire street, top and bottom. On non-school days, we observed many residents on Woodmere Way, top and bottom, parked on both sides of the entire street. If we were limited to one-side parking during school hours, that might make it less available to the students, but there may not be enough spaces for just the residents to park. And with fewer to no spaces for the residents, landscapers, work trucks, or other visitors who need to park on the street during the day would be unable to do so. we propose a permanent no parking sign here to the corner at the bottom of the street, as we have seen on other streets in the neighborhood. That would replace the temporary signs that, well, were recently removed and also help prevent or allow cars to move into and off of Mill Road onto Woodmere. Also replacing orange cones with painting curbs yellow. Any resident who wants to identify no parking at the edges of their driveway could be easily enforced if the cars were parked over the lines. At the top of the street, we experienced the running of the stop sign at Woodmere Way and Edgehill Drive frequently. As we have observed over the years, the painting of lines to highlight the stop sign did very little, and a police officer posted there only worked to slow traffic while they were physically present. Our only possible solution to allow parked cars on both sides of the street that create an obstacle is to that straight down the street, forcing cars to slow down and keep neighbors and kids safe. Finally, we see these proposals of permanent sign as and opted on painting curbs as a win for the neighbors by addressing the different needs of a shortcut through the street. And I support Mr. Boyer's idea of registered parked cars as well.
Thank you so much. Right, further comments on the left-hand side? Yes, sir.
Mike Sweeney, 3rd Ward. I just wanted to mention the National Teacher of the Year, Leon Smith. It's kind of amazing that he's Teacher of the Year. I didn't realize that. I thought it was like Teacher of Pennsylvania or something. It's like really outstanding. And I think Commissioner Holmes, your remarks were excellent and really befitting. Just 2 quick things. So in the resolutions under 12B, it looks like the CDBG action plan. My understanding is that's about $840,000 of a grant, which is probably less than 1% of the annual Haverford Township budget, thereabouts. I could be wrong. But I'm just wondering, does it need to be in the minutes how much the grants are? And then how much outsized influence from HUD with the compliance with what you need to do for the grant money? Is that ever talked about or published on the websites at all? And I'm just curious, like, is it $10 million total, $15 million total? I know this one grant's $850,000, but what strings come attached and how much outsized influence is that having on policy? I'm just curious about that. And then 12D, as in Delta, it looks like there's going to be development done, which is great, a small business investing. And I'm just noting that that's happening under the current zoning ordinance. Doesn't seem to require a rewrite for that development to happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Further comments on the left-hand side? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Henry Maniscalco. I'm not a resident of the township, so I don't know if I'm able to speak or not, but I was a contractor who attended the pre-bid meeting for the tank replacement project, which you intend to award tonight. And my comment was, did the contractor, who was apparent low bidder, provide documentation to the township and Pannoni that they meet the RCO requirements that I've read numerous times in this township? A Department of Labor approved apprenticeship program that graduated apprentices in 3 of the last 5 years in each of the trades on the project. And also if their subcontractors as well are enrolled in such a program. So I appreciate, certainly understand and appreciate the RCO that you guys have in place, and I think that's a great thing. So that's my comments to the board.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Right, so we would ask you to reserve your second comments to the second citizens forum that happens later this evening. No, that's okay, thank you. On the right-hand side then, let's move on. Agenda items. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Eric. I live on Woodmere Way. Okay. This is about the one-side parking sign. We voted on this last month. Most of you said yes, some of you said no. And I understand why you said no. Woodmere Way is a shortcut from Arlington to Mill. You open up a lane, yes, it could be a speedway. And I would be remiss to say that that would never happen. Of course it can. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that if you vote for this or vote against this because of that, then you would be voting for something that could happen and not what is happening now. And after all, this is why the petition was written. This is why it was signed by the majority of the residents. I've made comment about the parking permits. I don't think that'll happen. I mean, well, in my opinion, that is another petition. Am I correct? Okay. Well, the petition that we wrote and signed is what's in front of you, I guess. So I'm here to ask you to vote for that. Thank you.
Thank you. I need your last name actually for our minutes. Forgive me for that.
Sorry. My name is Eric DeFiore.
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am.
Janet Hutchinson, also 1600 Woodmere Way. I'd like to refute the claim that increased speeding is going to occur because there is an open lane. I invite anybody to just sit with your coffee for 15 minutes in the morning, and the racing is going on presently with it being tight. I don't think that's going to cause any increase. What will happen is that there would be more space and less likely that people's rear view mirrors are getting broken, so we have broken glass continuously. So I don't think that's the issue. Many people drive to work and the street empties of resident traffic. When it's a holiday or something, on the entire block, you might get only 7 cars, residents that haven't left for work or are not going anywhere. When it is a school day and everybody is there, you have these additional 30 cars. It is very tight and not well parked. So I'd like to say that that is not the issue, the speeding. I walk and ride bikes around the other blocks and, don't see anybody slowing down on Ridgeway with it being open because it's restricted on one side. And also Winton, another cut-through street. So it is a way to get out of that development into Mill Road. So if the police officer is not there, people are not even obeying the 25-mile speed sign that you have placed at the corner, at the Mill Road corner. I don't see a 25-mile-per-hour speed sign at the other end of the block. So if no police officer is present, that's going to be the inhibitory feature. So we're still getting speeding. I live at the bottom of the hill. And let me say, many of my neighbors also speed down there. So they drop out at the bottom because we're where the sewers are. And it's just the low part of the hill. And it's that clunk bang of people coming down and then hitting that flat spot. Still speeding going on. The tightness is the issue. It's a safety issue for everyone. It's just too much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson. Any other speakers on agenda items? No. Final call. Anybody wish to speak on an agenda item at this time in our citizens forum? Thank you. Then I'll invite my colleagues at this time to offer any responses to any of the comments made this evening prior to any votes. Of course, we may speak on these items again if we, as we approach our vote for example, Woodmere Way or Brookline Park. But that said, I'll open the floor.
Just briefly to answer some of Pat, there are 24 spaces planned. I think the total cost of this part of the project is $200,000. The initial estimate for the whole of Brookline Park was $2.5 million. At this point, we don't have that funding. We have about a little more than half of it. There were There's 24 spaces in this project. Prior to when there was a school there and the parking lot was behind the school, there were about 25 to 27 spaces. So those spaces are being removed, and in order to put in the head-in parking, we're taking 7 to 8 parallel spaces out. So actually, there's a net loss of spaces compared to what had been there before. I don't think and honestly, I mean, I think there's a need for the parking. Honestly, I don't think we could have moved ahead with the project if we didn't propose parking, because we would be in violation of our zoning ordinances. We had a problem with the library where we couldn't go ahead with the library until we built more parking. So there wouldn't have been adequate parking. There is in the plan angled parking on Kenmore. We don't have funds for that, and we can see if we're going to need that or not as the park develops. There are, I mentioned to you about the small fry soccer. That's one event, but also all of our parks, almost all the parks, families rent them out for birthday parties, for family celebrations. Relatives come, they're driving to the park. It's not an everyday thing, but you need the parking so that there's a place for people to come. So, I mean, that's our reasoning. I think I absolutely feel we need the parking. It's not a case of not listening. I think we listened, just don't agree that we don't. I think that we need the parking. Connor and I are both willing, more than willing, to sit down and talk with you about any future. Yes. No. The street. About future plans from the park. But I'm being honest. There's no hidden. You're not going to suddenly see a splash park there. Or there's no change in what 2 years ago we passed as the plan for the park. We're trying to follow that plan as best we can as the funding becomes available.
Thank you, Commissioner Hart. Opening up the floor to Commissioner McCluskey.
Just the resident who raised the issue regarding Darby and Hastings and the business that is operating around the corner there, certainly expressed some real concerns, and we can have codes take a look at that, I think, and look into it.
Thank you, Commissioner McCluskey.
Could we connect before you leave?
I was going to say, I have lots of photos if you would like them.
Well, we actually, when we're investigating violations like this, have to actually have our zoning officer or code enforcement people go out and see it for themselves. But we'll be glad to help you as best we can.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to follow up with Mr. Booth. I will follow up with our police department and ask them to take a look at the situation on Washington Ave and the parking on Bailey, around Bailey Park. So we'll get back in touch with you. Okay? Yeah. Right. So
okay, thank you.
We'll take a look at that. Thank you so much.
And then I have two things to say about the Woodmere Way too. My friends who spoke about that. I'll continue to talk to all of you guys and to hear all of your views and stuff, and we'll work with the police and stuff. That will pass tonight, I assume, but I just wanted you to know that we will continue to work with you guys. And to Bailey Park, Mr. Booth, as you know, I live on that street, and we see the parking this time of year. That's where most of my calls are, and I've talked to you about that. And we'll continue to see what we can do, but I'll talk to you about your idea as well. So thank you.
Thank you. We don't invite back and forth at this time. Sorry. Further comments from my colleagues?
I would just, to address, Mr. Sweeney had asked some questions about the CDBG. And Mr. Berman, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's an annual award that we get that's been, at least in recent years, consistently around the $800,000 mark.
Yeah, believe it or not, this is our 52nd year, and so we follow those federal regulations every year. They do evolve over time.
But in terms of dollar amounts,
52
it's
years.
about it's about 800 grand.
This-
It's been
this year it's
consistent.
in that ballpark.
Okay. And I do know, while I can't answer exactly where all the numbers came from, I do know that at the work session last week, there was a presentation about the specific grants that were part of this year's CDBG proposal. I don't know, is that proposal, that presentation that we had last week, is that online, or is that something the public can readily access? I don't know the answer.
The presentation itself is on YouTube, and we have the documents here. I'd be glad to share them that reflect the entire action plan.
So if someone wanted to ask, get the specific breakdown of the grants, they could shoot you an email or something along those lines.
Yes, they can do that, and it's also in the public packet, which is published on the website.
Oh, okay.
And on our website, we do have a page that's dedicated to CDBG. It may not have all the federal regulations, but I can direct folks to that.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Yes, Commissioner Holmes.
I would add to the comments about the CDBG awards just to indicate that we also do publish prior to this meeting the specific projects that are part of this award. So 20% of it goes to administration and fair housing, 15% of it goes to public projects, and 70% of it goes to the low moderate benefits, including Americans with Disabilities Act programs. That includes transit for seniors. It includes housing rehab that individual people apply for and have to qualify. There's a question about outsized influence. These are funds that are available subject to particular projects satisfying particular requirements. If they satisfy the requirements, the money is available. It isn't money that we are taking from some other project or depriving somebody else from doing. It's money that people, that are citizens, either through collective work in our public projects or through individual work through their own individual applications, are entitled to under the federal government. So I just wanted to clarify that in case anybody may have gotten the wrong impression from the questioning or hadn't been able to see this. I needed to respond to Mr. Hall. Mr. Hall, you and I know each other well, and I trust your motives and your intent behind the comments about nuclear families. I am obviously part of a nuclear family, that how I was raised and how I've raised my children. I don't think Mike Braun from Indiana has any business in the world telling people what God's plan is. He's no more qualified than I am to say what God's plan is about a family. And as far as research goes about how well kids raised in nuclear families do compared to kids raised in broken families or parents of same-sex children, I would ask you to conduct a chicken or egg analysis with that and ask yourself, are those people better off because society for 200 years has looked at nuclear families as the proper family and maybe not treated people from non-nuclear families in the same way, both officially and just simply how they react and how they treat them? So I can't really accept research that families like mine do better. Children in families like mine do better than children in families that are less fortunately situated than I am is therefore support for the notion that we should herald the nuclear family. And I would defy anybody who has spent their life in a nuclear family to really come up with an instance for me right now where they truly feel and have been the victims of discrimination, as opposed to the families, non-traditional families that we're talking about. So I say that not to you, but just in response to the research that you cited. And while I appreciate your comments, I could not let them go unaddressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Holmes.
For now.
Thank you. We'll look forward to your comments later. That said, we'll move on to our next agenda item. I now invite Mr. Bernard McCabe, Chair of our Civil Service Commission, to join us at the front. He will be offering remarks on behalf of the Civil Service Commission.
Thank
Mr.
you.
McCabe.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Bernie McCabe. I'm the Chair of the Civil Service Commission. I'm here this evening to request a motion to void the current entry-level eligibility test for patrol officers under Section 32-40 of the Police Department Civil Service Rules and Regulations. The Civil Service Commission, along with Haverford Township Police Department, does intend to retest or offer a new test this fall at a date to be further announced. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'll actually then move on to entertain a motion regarding this recommendation. I'll open the floor to entertain a motion.
I move to avoid the current entry level eligibility test on 6/9/26 well under section 32-440F Police Department Civil Service Rules and Regulations.
Second.
I've heard a motion and a second. The motion's now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on the board? And hearing none, move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Cavanagh absent. Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. McCabe.
Thank you very much.
All right. At this time, I'd like to invite our Chair of the Commissioners' Fire Committee, Commissioner Brian Gondik, to share this month's Bureau Fire update. Commissioner Gondik, the floor is yours.
The Haverford Township Bureau Fire Report for May of 2026. We had total incidences of 99, of which 73 were township incidents, and 26 were out-of-township mutual aid incidents. Average personnel per call was 17, 949 personnel hours committed to incidents, and 438 personnel hours committed to training. The Haverford Township Bureau of Fire provided mutual aid to 10 working fires within Delaware County and 1 working fire in Montgomery County. On May 5th at 3:11 p.m., all 5 township fire companies, with assistance from Bromall, Newtown Square, and Penwyn Fire Companies, handled a large brush fire on the Marion West Golf Course along Marple Road and Terra Alta Circle. 84 township firefighters worked for 3 hours to contain the fire. 1 member from the Manoa Fire Company was injured and treated at the hospital. The member is currently recovering from his injuries. With regards to our ambulances, in May of 2026, we had a total of 470 dispatches, resulting in 405 patient charts and 252 transportations with 100 out-of-town covers. And that is the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions or comments for Mr. Gondik? And hearing none, I'll now invite our Township Auditor, Mr. Ross. Is he not here today? Okay, since Mr. Anderson's not present to provide a report this evening, Ms. Cuthbertson, can I just ask if you can share the findings?
Mr. Anderson did reach out. He did select a sample as he does each month, and we did answer his questions. I have his selection, which he said he will review next month, but he was tied up with a work event tonight, so he sends his regards.
Thank you so much. All right, then we'll move on. And with that, I'll invite our Township Manager, Dave Berman, to please offer his report for the month.
Thank you. I have to, again, I'd like to briefly highlight the new optional service that's coming up. It's going to be available to residents beginning on July 13th, and that's our curbside compost collection. So this program is optional. It provides residents with a simple, convenient way to recycle food scraps, yard waste, weeds, grass clippings, and other organic materials that might otherwise end up in the trash. Again, participation is completely voluntary and is available to all households that currently receive curbside trash collection services. One of the things that I like most about the program is that we're trying to make it really easy for residents. There's no registration, there's no sign up, there's no special container required. Residents can use any standard 5-gallon bucket with a secure lid and place it at the curb on Mondays alongside your regularly scheduled brush collection. Speaking of brush collection, residents will once again be able to use biodegradable paper bags for yard waste, weeds, and garden trimmings. So collected materials will be transported from the township the same day they're collected and taken directly to a contracted and DEP permitted composting facility. To help residents get started, the township will host a free composting kickoff and starter kit giveaway on Sunday, June 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. here at the township building. The first 2,500 households will receive a free composting starter kit, and the first 900 will also receive an indoor countertop collection container. We already started marketing this program, and we hear 3 main questions. 1, will the finished product, the actual compost, be available to residents? And the answer is not yet. Once we finish implementing the program, we're going to explore ways that make sense for Haverford Township. Next question, can I use biodegradable plastic bags? And the answer to that is no. While some plastic bags are marked as biodegradable, many do not break down properly in the contracted composting facility. And finally, what should residents do if they've been using Mother Compost? And the answer is, we've been working closely with Mother Compost throughout the planning process for this program. They are genuinely pleased that we're doing this, and this will not put them out of business. Residents can continue to use Mother Compost if they want to, but the township is going to collect food waste that is placed curbside on regular brush Mondays in sealed 5-gallon buckets, even the ones that Mother Compost has already given to residents. So we have a lot of information about this. It's coming in the mail, and it's also going to be on our website. In fact, it's already there. And we do encourage residents to learn more and really consider participating. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. Any questions or comments from Mr. Berman at this time? And hearing none, we'll move on to our approval of warrants. I will now entertain a motion.
Madam President,
Commissioner Holmes.
I move we approve the following warrant number 6 of 2026, totaling $5,279,264.84, comprising the general sewer fund payroll for May 21st, 2026 in the amount of $1,240,461.96, the general and sewer fund payroll for June 4, 2026 in the amount of $943,610.40, general fund disbursements in the amount of $1,673,739.16, sewer fund disbursements in the amount of $864,807.14, community development block grant disbursements in the amount of $50,378.35, capital projects funds disbursements in the amount of $461,037.32, American Rescue Plan Fund disbursements in the amount of $31,185, and a credit card statement ending May 27, 2026 in the amount of $14,045.51.
I've heard a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion open for discussion now. Any questions or comments from my colleagues regarding the approval of warrants?
I recommend that we approve this warrant.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Holmes. Anything further? And hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondek.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. Please note that all items are detailed in the public agenda packet. At this time, I'd like to ask my colleagues if anyone wishes to remove any items from the consent agenda at this time for individual consideration later this evening. And hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Yes, I move to approve items A through C of the consent agenda as further detailed in the public packet.
Second.
Heard a motion and a second. Motion's now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on the board?
I do have a brief question, and I'm not necessarily sure whether it's, well, I guess it could equally apply to the contract award Public Works for the road program, or one of the resolutions we're doing a little bit later to approve some other spending. Correct me if I'm wrong, but with regards to our responsible contractor ordinance, our township engineer goes through and makes sure that the lowest responsible bidder qualifies under the responsible contractor ordinance before it comes to us for our approvals. Is that correct?
Yes, Commissioner, that is correct. We review the bids on behalf of the township and identify anything that might be problematic. If we do identify something, we generally confer with the manager and the solicitor too on anything that might be questionable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions or comments? And hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondek.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to our next agenda item, appointments. We'll consider the appointment to our zoning hearing board. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to table.
And I'll second that.
Heard a motion to table in a second. So the motion to table is on the table. All those in favor of tabling, can you please say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. We'll move to table this. Thank you. We now move on to our next agenda item, ordinances. Tonight, we will consider 7 ordinances, beginning with the second reading of ordinance number P6, 2026. I'll entertain a motion.
So I move to adopt the second reading of ordinance number P6-2026 for further amending and supplementing ordinance number 1960 adopted June 30th, 1986, and known as the general laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 175, vehicles and traffic prohibited parking during school hours on a portion of Woodmere Way.
Second.
I've heard a motion and a second. The motion is now open for discussion. Are there any questions or comments from my colleagues regarding this motion?
I have a question or a comment that kind of follows from some of the concerns residents have raised. A couple residents asked about permit parking along Woodmere Way, and I was wondering if we could learn more about the pros and cons of that possibility.
Permit parking is more appropriate for homeowners whose chief complaint is they don't have anywhere to park their personal car. So the complaints that we got from Woodmere wasn't that. It was too many cars on the road, constricting traffic, making it hard to get by. So permit parking theoretically would not eliminate that, because all that does is, that's supposed to be for saving a homeowner or space. More for around businesses, things like that, where they come home from work, they don't have anywhere to park because there's parking in front of their house due to a business or something like that. But the complaints I got, no one ever said that they couldn't park their own car there. It was that it was dangerous.
Thank you for that explanation. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Further questions or comments? And hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Sorry. Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. I'll now entertain a motion for ordinance number P8-2026.
President Trombetta, motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance number P8, 2026, further amending and supplementing ordinance number 1960, adopted June 30th, 1986, and known as the general laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 175, vehicles and traffic, removing the special purpose parking zone at 169 Juniper Road.
Second.
Heard a motion and second. The motion's now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. I'll now entertain a motion for ordinance number P9-2026.
Madam President,
Yes, Commissioner McCollum.
motion to adopt the second reading of ordinance number P9-2026, further amending and supplementing ordinance number 1960, adopted June 30th, 1986, and known as general laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 175, vehicles and traffic. Installing a stop sign on Leadham Road eastbound at the intersection of Belfield Road.
Second.
I've heard a motion and a second. The motion is now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on this board? And hearing none, we'll move to vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion for P10-2026.
Motion to adopt second reading of ordinance P10-2026, further amending and supplementing ordinance 1960, adopted June 30th, 1986, and known as the General Laws of the Township of Haverford, amending the lease agreement with Unisite OmniPoint PA Tower Venture LLC for property located at 2080 Old Westchester Pike.
Second.
Heard a motion and a second. Motion's now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on the board? And hearing none, Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. I'll now entertain a motion for ordinance number P11, 2026.
Madam President,
Yes, Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
motion to adopt the first reading of ordinance number P11, 2026, further amending and supplementing ordinance number 1960, adopted June 30th, 1986, and known as General Laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 175, Vehicles and Traffic, installing special purpose parking zone at 4 West Mercer Ave.
Second.
I've heard a motion and a second. The motion's now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on the board? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion for ordinance number P12-2026.
Motion to adopt the first reading of ordinance P12, 2026, further amending and supplementing ordinance number 1960, adopted June 30th, 1986, and known as the General Laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 175, Vehicles and Traffic, removing the special purpose parking zone at 727 Humphreys Road.
Heard a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Heard a second. Motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Hearing none, Mr. Berman, please take the vote.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. I'll now entertain a motion for ordinance number P13-2026.
Madam President.
Yes, Commissioner Holmes.
I move we adopt the first reading of ordinance P13, 2026, further amending and supplementing ordinance number 1960, adopted June 30, 1986, and known as the General Laws of the Township of Haverford, Chapter 175, Vehicles and Traffic, installing a special purpose parking zone at 2220 Bryn Mawr Avenue.
Heard a motion, is there a second? Thank you. Motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from colleagues? Then hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. So this exhausts our ordinance on the agenda this evening. We now move on to resolutions.
Madam President.
Yes, Commissioner Holmes.
Move to resolutions. I would like to ask if we can add something to the agenda right here, and that would be our approval of our regular meeting minutes from May 11th, 2026. They did not appear on the agenda, but it was distributed to all of us. Did I miss it?
Was that part of the consent agenda, or am I making that up?
Yeah, that's part of
Apologies.
the consent agenda.
I'm a knucklehead. So I withdraw that motion and
Thank you so
yield the
much.
floor back to Madam President.
Wonderful. Let's move on to resolutions then.
I told you these consent agendas were a bad idea.
Great idea.
It was a bad
This
idea.
is not the moment to take that on, but thank you. So I'll entertain a motion for resolution 2484-2026.
President Trombetta, motion to approve resolution number 2484-2026, approving the preliminary final subdivision and land development plan for Sproul Road Development Partners, LLC, for a 4-lot subdivision and land development, including constructing a new single-family dwelling and driveway for each lot at 1039 Sproul Road, Haverford.
I've heard a motion. Is there a second? Thank you. I've heard a motion and a second. The motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Hearing none, I'll move to a vote. This was the subject of a significant conversation over our past 2 work sessions. So that's why we're hesitating.
If
So is
I
this
understand.
approving the land development with all of the waivers that were requested?
Correct. That's the way I interpreted this.
Thank you.
And to clarify, I believe that there were certain fee and lieu that were agreed upon or at least worked out prior to this that are the
That's-
foundation of which those
Right,
waivers are being granted.
That's noted in the resolution.
Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you. I just wanted to make certain.
And again, for the public's perception, we've had multiple work session meetings discussing this development and the discussion, which I think is why Commissioner Trombetta may be hesitating, because there was significant discussion, but we should move forward with a vote.
Hearing no further comment.
Waiting for me to say something, thing to say on this issue, and it has nothing to do with the minute. My concerns have been satisfied, and I have nothing to add.
Wonderful. Thank you, Commissioner Holmes. Then hearing none, let's move to a vote. Mr. Berman.
Commissioner Gondek.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
No.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. So we'll now move on to Resolution 2485-2026. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution number 2485, 2026, adopting the 52 Community Development Block Grant Action Plan.
Is there a second? Please, can I entertain a second?
Entertain a
Thank you so
second.
much. Okay. Motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? Again, this was the subject of a presentation from our work session last week. That said, hearing no further discussion, I'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman, please take the roll.
Commissioner Gondek.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to Resolution 2486-2026. This is a settlement agreement. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution number 2486, 2026, authorizing the township manager to execute a small dollar settlement agreement with the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania.
Second.
I've heard a motion and a second. The motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on the board? Hearing none, Mr. Berman, please take the roll.
Commissioner Gondek.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. So we'll now move on to resolution number 2487-2026. This is land development for 83 South Eagle Road. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve resolution number 2487, 2026, approving the preliminary final land development plan for OD Investments LLC for land development at 83 South Eagle Road, Havertown.
Second.
I've heard a motion and second. The motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues on this board? Hearing
This
none.
also had for the public's perspective, this also had a presentation at our work session last week by the developer and his counsel, and it was a discussion of what the project was and what it wasn't.
And to confirm, this is as reflected in the resolution that's in the packet.
Yes.
All the waivers and all that.
The waivers.
Thank you.
Yes.
No further comments?
And
Yes.
this also involves a fee in lieu, not in this situation about sidewalks, but in the situation of dedication of open space.
Yeah, so the, if I may just jump in, so the number for that is 8,726, which is, because the pole barn is just going to be on the residentially zoned portion, it's what it would be for that residential portion rather than the commercial portion. So that's how that figure was created.
And that's what I understand. Thank you, Madam Solicitor.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? And hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman?
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. We will now move on to consider 2 contract awards. I'll begin with entertaining a motion for a contract award for Brookline Park parking improvements.
President Trombetta, motion to award a contract in the amount of $199,310 to Ernell Company Incorporated, the lowest responsible bidder for the Brookline Park Phase 4 parking improvement project.
Second.
Heard a motion and a second. The motion is now open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? And hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman?
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCullum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes. Motion carries. Thank you. I'll now entertain a motion for our next contract award for fuel tank replacement.
Madam President,
Yes, Commissioner McCollum.
Public Works Fuel Tank Replacement Project, motion to award a contract amount of $1,033,443 to TTI Environmental Incorporated, the lowest responsible bidder for the Public Works Fuel Tank Replacement Project.
A motion and a second. The motion's open for discussion. Any questions or comments from my colleagues? And hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Mr. Berman?
Commissioner Gondik.
Yes.
Commissioner Forresty-Grubb.
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes.
Yes.
Commissioner Quinn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hart.
Yes.
Commissioner McCollum.
Yes.
Commissioner McCluskey.
Yes.
Commissioner Trombetta.
Yes, motion carries. Thank you. We'll now move on to the continuation of our citizens forum, providing an opportunity for any member of the public who wishes to address the board. I kindly ask that you introduce yourself, use your name, your general address or whereabouts you live, as well as keep your remarks to about 3 minutes. And with that said, I'll open up on the left-hand side if you wish to offer any remarks. Yes, Ms. Alvery.
Michelle Alvery, 134 Hastings Avenue. I'd just like to thank you all for moving forward with the Brookline parking. I've been on this committee for many years, on the Parks Board for many years, and I think the residents will see that that's going to allow them to have more parking. We had major discussions at all the many public forums that we had when we were planning the Brookline Park plan. We discussed the pros and cons. Not everyone's going to be happy, but I think it's truly needed. As we saw at the grand opening last week, that there's a lot of people going to be using this park and we need to park. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, next row. Anybody on the next row? Anybody in the back there on the left-hand side? Yes, Mr. Sweeney?
Thanks for your time. Regarding the zoning ordinance,
If you wouldn't mind just
I'm
reintroducing
sorry,
yourself.
Mike Sweeney, 3rd Ward.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. Regarding the zoning ordinance, I think that the stated reasons that you're rewording the entire zoning ordinance, which is unusual, most of the time you'll do a text amendment or a zoning overlay. That's what most townships do. So I don't quite understand it, but there have been developments on Eagle Road, like Nudies. The Lamplighter was converted to apartments, as you guys voted tonight on the Eagle Road with McGoldrick. Like, private businesses are investing and doing development without a complete zoning ordinance rewrite. But I want to specifically talk about the process. The township's not providing easily tracked changes. So, like, you guys all look at contracts all the time. So you're not showing red lines, showing exactly how the existing ordinance is being altered. The draft that the consultant tried to bring a vote to last month, I think it was the Planning Commission, it's pretty ambiguous, and it contains material changes. So like, one of the things is what's non-conforming. So I think 1/3 of the houses in Haverford Town have shared alleyways. And I'm not saying that the changes make them non-conforming, but it's too ambiguous. And you guys tried to vote on it, not you guys, but the township tried to vote on it, and there's a lot of unclear things. So I think the residents are left comparing dense, full documents side by side, which makes meaningful review extremely difficult. And there's a lot of busy people, parents, retirees. I think true public engagement requires accessible information, clear before and after comparisons, plain language summaries of impacts on everyday properties, and ample time to review. I think the residents in Haverford Township deserve a process that protects existing homeowners from broad, unintended, non-conforming designations. So, for example, the alleyway. I'm not saying that it's making it non-conforming, it's just too ambiguous. And I think that the Haverford Township's residents deserve a process that embraces full transparency with red lines, summaries, and things that compare the changes that are happening. So I'm going to urge the Planning Commission, you, the Board of Commissioners, and the Township staff to slow down, step back, and try and improve the transparency, please. I would like to, if I have time, the consultant, he embellished radically and I have it on my phone, but basically saying you can plop down any type of use. He says what can happen is a property owner can come in, have a piece of property, and basically it doesn't matter if you don't like it, doesn't matter if you think it will ever be built, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not how that process works. And it is irresponsible that you have a consultant making that kind of assertion. I think, like, it's not true. That is not how that process works. Yes, you can have a lawsuit, but you can't just plop down a use anywhere you want in the township. That's not true. And it scares the residents into thinking, oh, we have to do this. And I don't think you guys have enough transparency in your process. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Sweeney. Further comments on the left-hand side during citizens forum? Hearing none, we'll move to the right-hand side. Mr. Barsky.
My name is Victor Barsky. I live on Bambi Lane with my wife, Gail. We've been here since 1987. And as life goes on, you start in elementary school and you keep moving along, and then all of a sudden you become a senior. And when you become a senior, you kind of say, what do I do now? Because you have maybe 20 years of life ahead of you. So I kind of developed 4 H's. 4 H's for retirement is health, is number 1. Number 2 is have enough or don't spend too much. It's not an H. Third is you had enough at work, so time to try something else. The 4th H is maybe the hardest. What do I do now to stay busy? So some years ago, Andy Lewis, who was a former commissioner who passed away at a very young age, came to me and said, Victor, what are you going to do? And I said, Andy, I don't know, because you go to work, men go to work, they come home, and what do I do now kind of thing. Women have a better way of socializing, but men, not so much. So I said, what do you suggest? I said, why don't you see if you can revitalize the Senior Citizen Committee? And I said, sure. I had no idea. So this is maybe 6 or 8 years ago. And then through, a couple of people know me better here, I also got involved with the Environmental Committee and also with the Haverford Day. And I sing at Haverford College. And so I try to stay busy, okay? And it works for me, but it's such a personal thing. So what we're trying to do is revitalize. Right now, the project is next Monday. I see Mary Ann Olson is still here, so thank you. We're going to be at the library at 6 o'clock. It's invited for seniors, but I really invite anyone who's going to be a senior soon to show up, because you need about a year to figure out what the heck you're going to do every day. You know, you talk to, especially men, it's a very lonely, men seem to, if they have one friend, they're good. And women are much better at socializing. So we need to get the men out to do things. And I'm preaching to people that are here. That means you're getting involved with stuff. So what we try to do at our senior citizen is we try to advise the commissioners on how to enhance and ensure the inclusivity of men and our seniors. seniors face go to work and come home. No, we don't have that anymore. So what are we going to do? They may lose a spouse. What do we do now? And this is what we're trying to work out. And if you sit at home, you have a better chance of suicide, loneliness, and everything else. So we really need to how do we get our seniors out as well as other people that are maybe sitting home saying, what do I do now? And that's what we're trying to work at. So that's what we got there.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Barsky. Any other comments on the right-hand side? Yes, Ms. Dowdy.
Good evening. My name is Dory Dowdy. I'm a longtime resident of the 6th Ward in Haverford Township. I've been carefully reviewing the proposed zoning reorganization and participating in this process because I care deeply about preserving the character, quality of life, and predictability of our residential neighborhoods. This process has troubling elements reminiscent of the classic 1944 film Gaslight. In that story, a husband dims the gas lights in their home and then insists to his wife that nothing has changed, eroding her trust in what she can plainly see. While I do not suggest any malicious personal intent here, the township's own supporting documents repeatedly tell residents that this reorganization, quote, improves how the rules are presented and expressed, but does not change what those rules permit. Yet a close reading of the reorg draft and the supporting documents reveals shifts, new definitions, new use consolidations that alter approval levels, and structural changes that could affect how rules are applied to existing properties and future development. This disconnect between the stated narrative that nothing has changed and the actual content undermines public confidence and makes informed participation difficult. Even more troubling is the inconsistent messaging coming from the township itself, from members of the Zoning Steering Committee, and the official Haverford Township e-newsletter on May 27th clearly stated that the June 11th Planning Commission meeting coming up this Thursday would focus on substantive comments from residents. Yet just 4 days later, a sitting commissioner on the steering committee sent out her own newsletter that removed that language entirely and added extra assurances that Phase 1 would make no substantive change. Similar inconsistencies appear in other recent communications from elected officials. This back and forth only reinforces why residents cannot rely on verbal assurances that nothing has changed without seeing actual changes in a clear red line document, as was said earlier. If the township is truly only making non-substantive changes in Phase 1, then why is the June 11th meeting being presented as an opportunity to discuss substantive comments? Those two positions cannot be true at the same time. Either the changes are substantive or there's no meaningful opportunity for public input. This contradiction is exactly why residents need to see a clear red line version of what is actually being proposed. What I'm asking is simple and common sense. The burden of proof should rest on the people who are telling us that nothing substantive has changed. Before the Planning Commission takes this matter up on June 11th, I respectfully ask that the Board of Commissioners tonight direct the Planning Commission to direct the consultant to produce and publish a full red line comparison of the legacy ordinance and the proposed zoning reorganization. I am not asking the township to simply release another large, dense document that expects residents to figure out it all on their own. If the board directs the staff and the consultants to produce a red line comparison, I also ask that the township hold open educational forums or workshops to walk the residents through the changes in plain language. This would give us a genuine opportunity to understand what is really being proposed before any further action is taken. If that direction is given and the red line is produced, residents of Haverford Township can review it for ourselves and have an honest, informed conversation about whether this is really just a reorganization or something more. But if the township chooses not to produce a clear red line, that decision itself raises serious questions. Your refusal to show the work creates a problem for your own claim that this is merely a reorganization with no substantive changes. In that case, the burden of proof shifts back to you to explain why you're unwilling to show the work before the Planning Commission proceeds. I am asking the board tonight to take this preemptive step and give clear direction to the Planning Commission, staff, and consultants before June 11th. That is the minimum standard of transparency we deserve. Thank you for your time and for your consideration in taking this request seriously.
Thank you, Ms. Dowdy. Any further question or I'm so used to saying that now, sorry. Any further comments from the public? And hearing none, I'll open up the, yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I missed you.
Kristen Wise from the 500 block of Sagamore. I just have a question regarding the parking and the change or the holding off on Kenmore, when that was decided, if there were any traffic safety studies done regarding all this, and specifically in our area, the traffic patterns, and regarding straight-in parking as opposed to a one-way street and angled parking, and which would be safer?
Well, we thought both would be safe. To go with it.
Okay, thank you.
Are there comments from the public? And hearing none, I'll invite my colleagues at this time to offer any response to comments made.
Madam Court Reporter.
Yes, Commissioner Holmes.
Madam Court Reporter. I'm having a bad day. Madam President.
Yes, Commissioner Holmes.
I just wanted to say that it's pretty hard not to take gaslighting personally. So I look forward, Ms. Dowdy, to seeing you on Monday. I'll announce in new business or other business, remind everybody of the meeting coming up. But yeah, gaslighting and then, suggesting it's not intentional or offensive is just, well, it's not intellectually honest. So let's proceed accordingly.
Just. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, for now.
I just wanted to chime in just so it's abundantly clear though, because Commissioner Holmes referenced the meeting Monday, which is the meeting that you're having with Commissioner Cavender, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, there is the Planning Commission that Ms. Dowdy mentioned in her remarks is June 11th, this Thursday. So just so the public is, there's no confusion there.
I would also add that the Planning Commission is having their third hearing about the reorganized draft. And we're only required by Pennsylvania law to have one Planning Commission. So we've got two additional ones because we are, excuse me, I'm still speaking.
Please, no, we have to maintain decorum. Thank you.
Two. Okay. But we're having an extra meeting this Thursday. On the Haverford Township Comprehensive Zoning Update, there is an entire page devoted, 89 pages worth, to the zoning ordinance update. It's the supporting documents. And it outlines a summary of the new structure, an explanation of changes, frequently asked questions. There are 3 appendixes. Appendix A, which is a section change log. This document serves as a guide between the legacy ordinance and the proposed draft. It will help you track the migration of specific regulatory language in the legacy ordinance to the new ordinance, allowing viewers to verify where existing sections have been relocated. Appendix B is the definition change log. This document isolates the changes made to Article 2. It identifies which definitions remain unchanged, which have been refined for technical clarity, and where new terms have been introduced to reflect modern land use practices. I got an email from a resident concerned that we had defined data centers, thank you. I'm having a bad day too. Data centers, she was alarmed. She thought we would be allowing data centers. And I replied to her, unless we define it, we cannot regulate it. So even if there's something in the definitions that's not in our current code, It's because we need that definition on the advice of our consultant and our solicitor so we can regulate those uses. That's important. We have to define things before we can manage them. There is an Appendix C, which is the use change log, and these tables provide a side-by-side comparison of permitted special exception and conditional uses in the legacy ordinance and how those changes were translated into the updated terms. They highlight where use categories have been modernized, consolidated, or renamed. So all of this information is available on the township website. We want residents to know about it. And I look forward to seeing everyone at the Planning Commission meeting on this Thursday, because always public comment is welcome.
Thank you, Commissioner Forster-Grapp. Further question or further comments from my colleagues in response to remarks made during Citizens Forum? Yes, Commissioner Forster-Grapp.
I'd like to thank Mr. Barsky for coming up and reminding us all about the great work that the Senior Citizens Advisory Council has been doing, especially over the last few years. The leadership and transformation of the council has made a material benefit to the seniors in the township. So thank you for your remarks and all your efforts and all the other members on that commission.
Well, I would have to say it since I became on that board too, since I became the liaison, that's when it all began to start, right?
I'll also just take a moment to offer a happy birthday to Peggy Murr, who's on our Senior Citizens Advisory Council and is probably viewing this right now. So with that, we'll move on to new business. Any matters that my colleagues would like to bring forward for discussion at this time under new business? And hearing none, we'll move on to other business. That's a portion of our meeting during which commissioners may make their final remarks for the evening. We'll start with First Ward Commissioner Brian Gunda.
Thank you. I just want to take a brief moment to thank the township and the police department and the fire companies from the township for putting on an excellent Memorial Day celebration this past Memorial Day. The weather was, the weather held out. It was great, and the celebration itself was very nice and touching. And so, thank you for that. Other than that, I just want to congratulate. Obviously, this is graduation season. Lots of people graduating from college, high school, 8th grade, middle school, like elementary school, and so on. So, congratulations to all the graduates and their families for getting them through. But a special congratulations to Haverford Senior High, who had their commencement this past week. I wish all of them the best in their future endeavors. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Gondek. We'll move on to Second Ward Commissioner Sherry Forster-Grapp.
Next Tuesday, June 16th, Connor, Jerry, and I are holding a constituent meeting. So everyone in wards 2, 7, and 8 should have gotten this wonderful multicolored postcard reminding you or telling you that we'll have this constituent meeting next Tuesday at the Crack, starting at 7 o'clock and going until 8:30. We'll be covering lots of topics. All the commissioners will be there. I'm sure we'll have some refreshments too, and there'll be township officials as well to answer questions. So we hope you all can come along. Also, just to
Can I bring a flask?
What? Stop it. We'll reiterate that the Senior Citizens Advisory Council and the library are teaming up for a wonderful evening for seniors next Monday, starting at 6 o'clock. So everyone is welcome to come. And even if you can't register and you decide at the last minute you want to come, please join us. It's going to be a wonderful time to learn about the services the library provides and get a tour of our library, which is still the best in Delaware County.
Thank you. We'll move on.
Speaking of the library,
Yes,
thanks, Madam President. We will be holding a meeting specifically about the zoning ordinance amendments on Monday, June 15th, at the library in the new meeting space. It'll be my first time in the new meeting space. I've been in the library since it opened. It's 6 to 8:30. With us will be our township consultant as well as other township officials, and our zoning consultant and Commissioner Cavender and me. It is titled a 5th and 6th Ward Constituent Meeting. But as with any of our meetings, any of my meetings, anybody in the township who's got something to say or wants to learn something or wants to yell at me is welcome to come to the meeting, and we will address your concerns as best we can, and I will be as informed on the topics as I'm capable. The only other comment I wanted to talk about is that it is Pride Month, and earlier this evening, I in my comments about Mr. Smith, I mentioned my mom, and in my comments about Pride Month, I'm going to invoke her memory again. And so I'm wearing a tie that my mother bought me about 20 years ago. She loved the colors in this tie, and she said to me that she thought of all of her kids, I was the one who could get away with wearing it. And so I do, and it would not at the time, this was not adopted as anybody's flag or any symbol of anything, but I wear it proudly. And if you were to look me up on my official firm portrait, I am wearing this tie. But I also wear it today because it can easily be mistaken for a pride flag, and I would disabuse no one of their thinking that by wearing this, that I am their ally. My mother was quite possibly, as I've never been given an audience with a pope, it's possible my mother is the most devout Catholic I've ever known in person. We were raised Catholic by my parents. We received every sacrament with the exception of public kindergarten. I went to Catholic grade school, Catholic high school, Catholic college, Catholic law school. I was grounded several times as a child for missing the Stations of the Cross. And after my honeymoon, my mother asked me if I had found a nice Catholic church in the Cayman Islands to get to Mass on the Sunday during our honeymoon. In the mid-90s, I was already quite progressive, and my mom and I didn't agree on everything politically. But she loved her liberal son, and I loved my Catholic with a capital C mom. And she did worry about my soul, and I think even to this day she still does. But during that time, I found out that she and my dad had invited a dear friend of theirs to come to Thanksgiving at our family. Thanksgiving is a huge deal at our family and a huge party. And she invited this friend to come to the Thanksgiving and to stay at their home. And this friend asked if he could bring his new husband to the house, which was a part of his life that he had kept secret from a lot of people, including from my parents. I thought that I could have a little fun at my mother's expense, so I called her up, and I asked her about how she could possibly reconcile the church's position on same-sex relationships and then having them together in her home. And in that moment, the teacher in her taught her know-it-all liberal son the true meaning of living the life of Christ. She said to me, Larry, Jesus invited 3 people into his life and into his home: a tax collector, a prostitute, and a leper, the 3 most reviled people in biblical times. She said if she could have them in his home, then certainly any friend of ours is welcome in ours. And I don't want you to ever forget that. And I didn't forget what she said, and I've tried to live that ever since. And 14 years ago today, I mentioned that my mom passed away. I woke up that morning with a kind of a funny feeling, and I put this tie on. And then halfway through the morning, I got in my car and I drove north to Scranton. I just had this premonition it was going to be a difficult day. And my brothers called me while I was driving and said, you should come up today because Mom's taking a bad turn. And I had already anticipated that, and I was in the car when that happened. And I spent the afternoon and the evening with her. And then on my drive home is when my brother called me with sad news about my mom. And in that moment, I immediately thought of my mom and her faith. The Gospel of Matthew says that whatsoever you do to the least of my people, that you do unto me. And I always interpreted that to mean that when you arrive at heaven, to be the least of God's people, that your panel of judges, and determine your entry, or perhaps your delayed entry, to heaven. And in my grief, I was faithful that people from all walks of life vouched for my mother at the gates of heaven. But I also believed that her act of loving her friend and his husband unconditionally and accepting them in front of all her family and friends and making them part of the most important celebration of her year won her 2 votes from 2 of the least of God's people, Oliver Sipple and Matthew Shepard. So Mr. Sipple and Mr. Shepard, I hope that when I arrive at the pearly gates, you will vouch for me too. I know it's just a flag, and I know perhaps it's just a tie, but it's my way of saying that I can love unconditionally like my mom did. I hope that's enough. It's not too much to ask. That's all I have, Madam President.
Thank you, Commissioner Holmes. We'll move on to Commissioner Quinn.
For the 2, 7, and 8 town hall, we were going to have a dunk tank there, but we thought that everybody would show up in the town, so we decided again. But now that school's about to end, I just wanted to remind everybody to slow down. And as we talked about Bailey Park, I think that we all know there's some here on that street that everybody flies down there. And I thank the police for all the times that they try, but they can't be there every day. So please remember to slow down. And I was proud to read the Juneteenth proclamation tonight. 5 years ago, I began to read that. And I'll continue to read it every year. I'm proud of that. So thank you all.
Thank you, Commissioner Quinn. I'll now move on to 8th Ward Commissioner Jerry Hart.
Thank you. Just some thank yous. Thursday night, we had really a great night at the ribbon cutting for Brookline Park. Over 100 people. Everybody is very enthusiastic. We're still in early stages, and it's great. So I wanted to big thank you to the Parks Department, to Brian and Eileen, to the steering committee, who did a wonderful job, and to the Parks Board. So I couldn't have been done without everybody's help. And the parking issues will get worked out. Also, another thank you to the Parks Department. From last month for Ann's Run, we got the final figures and raised $9,000 for pancreatic cancer research. We're aiming for 10,000 next year. Each year it gets a little higher. And finally, I think are we having a meeting next week? The 2nd, 7th, and 8th Ward next Tuesday night, 7 to 8:30 at the Crack. Constituent meeting, talk about whatever you want. We can have a dunk tank for you if you would like.
No, not at all.
And Victor, he started his retirement planning early by getting on the senior committee. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Hart. We'll move on to 9th Ward Commissioner Mike McCollum.
Thank you. Very brief tonight. Just want to congratulate all the graduates. Wish everyone that is a father a happy Father's Day, and everyone enjoy the 4th of July. Be safe. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner McCollum. We'll move on to Vice President and 3rd Ward Commissioner Kevin McCluskey.
Sure. Last month, St. Denis Fair completed another successful year, and thanks to all the volunteers and people that spend a tremendous amount of time doing that. As some may know, the last night of the fair, the decision was made to close early, and I don't bring that up to really discuss the facts or the issues. The fair is going to go on. They do a great job, and I'm sure anything can be worked out. I bring it up just because I've touched a couple of times in the last few months about the struggle that I have personally with how we as a township communicate happenings and what the role is and how it can be done properly, and the role that misinformation plays in today's society. And I don't have a solution based on this, but I do think that the events of that Saturday night at the St. Denis Fair were reflective of the issues that we face, both with the police department, with the township, that frankly St. Denis now faces in running this fair. The misinformation that spread, honestly, I expected it from my 14-year-old who was at the fair and ran down Eagle Road. But the issue was not the teenagers. The issue was the parents who heard from teenagers and heard rumors and misinformation and things that just were not true. And before they tried to confirm it or before they heard anything, because there weren't any sirens going on, they ran to Facebook, and everybody before they had to be first to get out that comment and that statement. And if that was you, I just would ask you to maybe next time consider taking a breath, because I don't know if it helps anybody, and I don't know what the solution is to it, because I don't think St. Dennis knows. I don't think the township knows. I don't think the police department know. But I think anybody who was involved that night can recognize that what happened on social media in Haverford Township that night was unproductive, and it wasn't helpful to anything. It wasn't helpful to the church. It wasn't helpful to fun fair, and it certainly wasn't helpful to any of the kids that exist in this township that just want to have fun. So that's all I'd think.
Thank you, Commissioner McCluskey. So before we adjourn this evening, I wanted to note that this is our last board meeting before the 4th of July. So with that in mind, I'd like to take a moment to recognize what an exciting time it is for our community, and our region and our nation. Over the next year, southeastern Pennsylvania will be on the international spotlight as we prepare for visitors coming from around the world for the FIFA World Cup, MLB All-Star Week, and the commemoration, of course, of America's 250th anniversary. And as we approach the 250th anniversary of the U.S., many local organizations have already begun hosting programs and events that invite residents to learn about our history, celebrate our shared heritage, and participate in a once-in-a-generation milestone, including our library. And thank you, Ms. Olson, for being here again, and for your work to do that. I've had the privilege of serving on a committee with representatives from several local organizations that have been planning what I believe to be a truly spectacular, one-of-a-kind event, an America 250 drone show at the Haverford High School football stadium on August 29th. It's shaping up to be something really special for our community, so I encourage everyone to save the date now and follow along, because there will be more details coming soon. There are also plenty of opportunities to connect with neighbors and celebrate our community in the weeks ahead. This weekend is the Kelly Center's annual Havertown Irish Festival, which is always a terrific event featuring great music, food, and community spirit. On Saturday afternoon at 1:30, and as mentioned previously, our Human Relations Commission will hold a Pride Month screening of Will and Harper, followed by a discussion at the Haverford Township Free Library. I want to thank the Commission for their help to our township for fostering dialogue, understanding, and inclusion within our community. For those looking to support sustainability efforts, the township will be hosting our Help Seed textile recycling event this Saturday from 9 to 11, followed by the composting kit giveaway on Sunday, June 14th from 9 to 1. Both programs are great opportunities for residents to take simple steps to have a positive impact on our environment. And before we know it, the 4th of July will be here. And as I have every year since becoming a commissioner, I look forward to attending the Paddock Farm Civic Association's 4th of July celebration, one of my favorite community traditions. And once again, you will find me in a dunk tank. And I'm pleased to report that I've roped in our township manager, Dave Berman, and Vice President Commissioner McCluskey to join me in the dunk tank. Not at the same time. That would be really a whopper. But I suspect many residents are looking forward to that opportunity, and I know I look forward to it. So with that, I want to wish everyone a safe, happy, and healthy start to the summer season. Hearing any final comments from my colleagues on this board, I'll just open it up one final time. And hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Thank you. The meeting's adjourned.